So this is part I'm gonna say 6. So the game begins right after the ending of Killzone 2. Um but it's well, not really. It After this one part happens, then it continues. Um you start out as Killzone 3, you start out as 2 Helghast, and you believe that you are actually a Helghast. Um, but it begins from a point of view, like I said, presumably 2 Helghast soldiers who have a ride at Stahl's Arms Corporation, um, which is kind of like he's not the leader, but him and oh, can't remember his name. Orlok, Admiral Orlok. They both want to rule Helghast. They're kind of like the top leaders of Helghast at the moment. Or Helgon, sorry. Um, but oh man. But so Jordan Stahl, his weapon, it's where it's the weapons factory. Um, but It's in a really cold environment. The two are taken to an execution room where they captured Narville's execution. Um, Sorry, I said that weird. I take it to an execution room where Captain Narville is about to be executed, and it's about to be broadcast by Stalls, and is broadcast to the Helgons. As the two soldiers are about to execute Narville, they release themselves as sorry, Sevchenko, and Rico. Uh, and The scene cuts back 6 months later, immediately following number 2. So that's kind of what I meant. Um, Sev and uh, Sev and Rico meet up with they regroup with Narville outside of Vazari's palace. Um, right after Rico was killed, and he's Sev is upset with Rico for killing him, and Narville is quite fed up with Rico and is gonna get him sent to a prison for what he did. But that's his opinion is soon later changed throughout the game. Um, so they start to begin their evacuation toward the remaining ISA ships on Helgon, but when they're taken off, they face a very heavy resistance from an organized Helgon troop led by Admiral Orlok, who his battle plan is well received by most of the Senate except for Stahl, so they kind of get on bad hands throughout the game. Um, the largest weapon manufacturer on Helgon is Stahl's Arms. He makes the weapons for people, or the Helgast. Um, from the outset, the animosity between the two parties is made apparent. They get into fights a lot throughout the game, and yeah, I'll get to that part in a minute. Rico receives a transmission from Jammer and separates from the group to rescue her later on, and Narville's really pissed about it, and he has encountered by a heavy resistance. Due to a poorly engineered evacuation from the few ISA ships unable to depart, Rico and Sev get separated, and the rest of the ISA forces are leaving, all of them marooned on Helgon. Jumping 6 months forward, the Helghast Senate expresses their disappointment on with Orlok's search for the remaining ISA forces. Since he intentionally promised that they would be dead within the hour, which does not happen. One of the senators suggests that they should relieve Orlok and replace him with Stahl, so they get in a really big fight. Hang on a second. I gotta talk a little quieter, sorry. Oh, what was I gonna say? But Orlok refuses. As a result, Stahl refuses to deliver his weapon prototype and other resources to the military as long as Orlok is in charge. Citing that Admiral is incompetent, Stahl organizes a private army to hunt down the ISA who are hiding in the Helghast jungle. Narville dispatches Sev along with a soldier named, I think his name is Kowalski. Kowalski? I think it's Kowalski. To retrieve an uplink in order to contact the Vetkin government. But upon doing so, the Earth Command informs Sev and Narvel that the ISA has agreed to ceasefire and surrender. So they can be negotiated, and people are not happy about that. The Helghast soon track the ISA in the jungle, and that's where you first see the Super Helghast with their electric blades, and you see Kowalski and Sev hiding in this hill or these bushes or whatever. It's like a grass, and you see this guy get brutally murdered, and they pick him up and put him in the ship and they leave. So they ending up, they capture in the death of Kowalski, so he dies after this big battle. Rico and his men, including Jamer and her group, who have been separated from the main group for 6 months, they finally find Sev, and they convince, and Sev convinces them to save Narville, and the rest of the captured ISA forces. There's really only like 10 people captured, but they still want to try to overthrow Helgon again and stop them from regaining too much power again. So they tracked them to Stahl's military weapons base, and sorry, keep losing my spot. They track them to Stahl's military base, discovering a horrifying new weapon, which is that green stuff, that the petricite, which makes people explode. It's pretty sweet. It's a compound that causes victims to explode. I don't know why I said that twice. Sorry. They're disguised as Narvel's executioners, which people keep an eye on them when they were going there, and they actually kind of had to sneak into the execution room, which makes me wonder how they knew where they were going. Sev and Rico rescue Narville, in addition to freeing some of their other men who are held prisoner of war, and they used that the prototype gun, and they tried to kill Stahl when he escapes. On their way out of the weapons military factory, Rico and Sev discover that there's Stahl's plan to destroy Earth, and they are to surrender so they can release and they're trying to get the ISA to surrender, and then so Stahl could try to nuke them without when they least expect it. So the ISA remains pursues Stahl's cruiser to a Halgas orbital elevator, as Earth, the most powerful military force, is leading an Imperial force who has colonized all the other worlds. The downfall would pioneer a station for the Halgas to dominate and presumably reclaim all other colonies. So Stahl's gonna nuke Earth and then get rid of the ISA military and then take over all these other planets. Embarrassed to Stahl's embarrassed that he failed to execute Narville, who they say Narville was the guy who killed him, but he just gave orders to rescue, and Stahl wanted to capture Rico, and Sev was supposed to be in the execution broadcast, but he managed to escape by when Rico saved him. As the Senate chooses to vote Orlok as Halagon's new autarch, it's a higher rank than Stahl, and Stahl's furious, and but he orders Stahl to transfer his new weapons to the Helgas military, and Stahl is made to confront Orlok in a space station where his plans to assassinate Stahl. So Orlok was going to assassinate Stahl, and Stahl was going to assassinate Orlok. When they meet up, Orlok brings a couple of his soldiers, and Stahl brings some of his special, heavier armored guys, and some of the assassin Helgast. So they get in this really big fight, and well, let me go back a little bit. So they fight with Helgast forces, and the remaining ISA soldiers arrived to the orbital elevator and used it to ride up to the space station. So on the station, Stahl turns on Orlok and destroys his fleet, and murders Orlok after a brief fight, like I said earlier, and makes a preparation to bombard Earth and nuke it. The remaining ISA's forces hijack 2 fighters, and Sev manages to shoot down Stahl's cruiser. Unwilling to let Stahl escape the cruiser. He drops a nuke on a falling cruiser, detonating the Petrusite weapon, and it was carrying above Helgon's atmosphere, and it engulfs the entire planet and wipes out almost everything on its surface. So the nuke was churned back and accidentally dropped on them, so they got really screwed on that. I have the Killzone 3 case here somewhere. I'll show a picture of that in a minute. I need to wrap this video up because I'm a little bit over 15 minutes. So Jammer then reports that the Helgon has gone dark, with not a single communication being heard. Sev contemplates on many lives on the planet obliterating by the Petrusite, so Helgast and ISA died. About in the mid-credit scene, 2 Helgast soldiers are searching through some ruins when they come across the escape pod. Though the occupant's identity is not revealed, both soldiers bow and say, "Welcome, Hollister," heavily implying that Stahl survived and managed to escape the cruiser before it's destroyed. So, rumor on number 4, Stahl and these 2 soldiers, they go and gather up the remaining Helgast, and there's some Helgast outside of the planet, and they're going to try to make the most secret launch, which I'm sure they'll change this, and I really hope that they do go through with Killzone 4, because it's being talked about being made, but it's not official. And that'll be the last fight. I don't know if it'll be an actual game or how long the story will be or anything like that, so you can do some research on that if you want, but that is pretty much the storyline to Killzone, and thanks for listening. See ya. This is the Halo Guy 57, one of my crappy videos. Sorry about the background again. I can't really find much, and I could have figured out anything, so I had to hold the camera the entire time. Alright, see you guys.